Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Doris. I'm here to show you about my stock account and today's market update. Today, my stock account has made a gain of $57.97. Right now, the net asset of my account is $70,152.09. Today, Apple has closed down 0.90%. SQQQ closed up 1.84%. SPY closed down 0.13%. United Natural Gas closed up 0.2%. Today, the industry generally closed mixed. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 0.16%. Nasdaq closed down 0.36%. And S&P 500 closed down 0.07%. Today, the semiconductor industry generally closed down with a loss of more than 2%. And let's take a look at the specific stock that happened to be fluctuating recently, which is Tesla. And as we all know that in the past few days, it has been fluctuating pretty significantly after releasing its Q4 results of 2023. And we're going to talk about that in another video, but as of this video, let's talk about the US GDP, and let's go. So in the GDP growth in this quarter, that the annualized real GDP grew by 3.3% in the fourth quarter, well above the market expectations of 2%, while the US economy grew 2.5% in 2023, compared with 1.9% in 2022. Specifically, U.S. GDP increased by $329 billion to $27.393 trillion in the fourth quarter, with analysts noting that the main factor for the growth was insufficient inventory depletion, a surge in exports despite the soaring dollar, and a surge in healthcare spending and RV purchases. For this growth, the U.S. president said that the economy grew 3.1% last year, while adding 2.7 million jobs, and core inflation fell to pre-pandemic levels, which means wages, wealth, and employment are now higher than before the pandemic. What are the growth drivers behind the U.S. economy? The chart below shows the change in the Q4 GDP nominal dollars, and the corresponding increase in the U.S. budget deficit and the increase in the debt. Oh, the chart didn't happen to be here, but we can see that the U.S. budget deficit increased by 50% to $510 billion. Over the same period, U.S. public debt increased by $834 billion, or 154% above GDP growth. This means that it'll take a $1.55 budget deficit and more than $2.5 of debt to pay for $1 of economic growth. According to analysts, U.S. debt rose $2.581 trillion last year, meaning that every $1.69 for every $1 in GDP growth, and for every new job, future generations of America lost $957,100.48. The analysts predicted that the deficit will be higher than the $2 trillion in 2024 if it continues at the current pace. The FRED total federal interest payments are growing exponentially, topping $1 trillion for the first time ever, according to the data. On the debt front, the U.S. Treasury Department report released earlier this month showed that the U.S. federal debt reached $34 trillion for the first time. The massive debt crisis has raised concerns, and the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said, "The $34 trillion in debt is a terrible number, but the U.S. also has a huge economy. The actual debt repayment costs remain fairly manageable, and we must take measures to ensure that the deficit is manageable." This is all I have for today, and see you next episode.